So this is Panchavaktra Shiva abode here. 5 heads of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva in his 5-headed form resides here, under this banyan tree. We used to chant that mantra. We don't hear it very much now, but there was one time it was very popular. It began Brahma Bolo Chaturmurti Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, and then Mahadevo Panchamukhi Rama Rama Hare Hare. The 5 heads of Lord Shiva are all chanting Rama Rama Hare Hare. So Lord Shiva, we see his temples around the dam, all over the dam, many different places. Lord Shiva is Kshetrapal. The different borders of the dam, he's there. Lord Shiva's temples are more than Lord Krishna. That is the blessing of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna wants to see his devotee worship more than him. So he gave the benediction to Lord Shiva that you will have more temples than him. Many people worship Lord Shiva, of course, simply for material desires. They don't know that Lord Shiva has his own sampradaya, which is present in the form of Vishnu Swami is the prominent acharya in that line, and it's present today, particularly Pushti Marg is connected to that line. But most people are not aware that Lord Shiva, his greatest mercy is to bring them to the path of devotion. Generally people... So Lord Shiva is described here as resident here. Who can describe his glories? The most merciful Panchavaktra Mahadeva, 5-headed Shiva, would fulfill the desires of anyone who asked him anything in the service of Lord Sri Krishna. So once upon a time, an ascetic Brahmana was worshipping Lord Shiva to fulfill their desires. They worshipped Lord Shiva with true belief for a duration of 1 paksha, a fortnight. Lord Shiva became very pleased with them. He looked upon them with a very merciful glance and spoke, You must now ask anything that you desire. The Brahmana said, Please give us that which you consider to be the greatest, that which you consider to be the greatest. And Lord Shiva said, There is nothing greater than service to Sri Krishna. So this is Lord Shiva's instruction. The greatest thing he can give, service to Lord Krishna. But the common people are not aware of that. They simply worship Lord Shiva for material desires. In the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we have the story of Vrika. Vrika was worshipping Lord Shiva. He was cutting flesh from his body and offering to Lord Shiva, and still Lord Shiva was not appearing. And then finally, he wanted to offer his own head to Lord Shiva. And he was prepared to cut off his own head as an offering to Lord Shiva. At that time, Lord Shiva, being a Vaishnava, is very compassionate. And so he appeared in front of Vrikasura and then asked Vrikasura what blessing he wanted. And Vrika said, I want the benediction, whoever's head I touch, their head will fall off. So Lord Shiva was obliged to give that benediction, but then Brika wanted to touch Lord Shiva's head. So Lord Shiva put his own self into difficulty. Here in this situation it's described about the Brahmanas. They asked Lord Shiva, what is the greatest thing you can give? We should always think like that. What is the greatest thing we can get from service to Krishna? The greatest thing we can get is more service to Krishna. Right? From service, you get so much pleasure in doing service, you want to do more service. Right? You go around on parikrama, after you go around one time, you want to go around again. Right? Who wants to go around again? Oh, very good. Yes. Okay, sign up. You can come with Karthi. Naragopal Prabhu has a very nice parikrama. As we heard yesterday, he takes you in the car. You don't have to walk. You know, we also go visiting many places outside of the Navadvip Dham now. There are many wonderful places in connection with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela to go and visit. You can go up to Katha, which is not very far away. And in Katha you can see the place where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas. It's the ashram of Keshava Bharati Maharaj. And they have the samadhi of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's hair. After the barber shaved the hair of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they put the hair in samadhi. So that's there in Katha. Very nice to go and see these places. And not far away from Katha is Sri Khanda, and the place of great devotees like Raghunandan Thakur, the deity which ate the offering. Raghunandan was such a great devotee, he could inspire the deity to accept the offering, to eat it. So that deity is there, and not very far away, just 2 kilometers away from Katha. And in the south we have Shantipur. So after the parikrama, we have Ekadasi. And the day after Ekadasi, the Dwadasi, is the appearance day of Madhavendra Puri. And that's a very big festival. Madhavendra Puri was the guru of Advaita Acharya. And Advaita Acharya's residence is at Shantipur. So you're all invited to go to Shantipur on the Dwadasi. And we have a big festival. And we feed thousands of people. The whole people come, you know, when you have prasadam, then people come from everywhere. You don't know where they come from. But there's never any difficulty to distribute prasadam. So at Shantipur we have a very big festival. And many devotees will be going. There'll be free buses. Buses are free to go to Shantipur. And they bring you back as well. So we have many buses, and you have to get there early to get in the bus, because all the Bengali devotees, they all like to go too. So if you want to go, you got to be quick to get a seat in the bus. The buses fill up. But it's a wonderful festival, and everyone who goes there, who takes part in that festival, cooking and serving prasadam and eating prasadam, they all get Krishna Prem. Yes. So this is the mercy. This is, you know, the residents, the descendants of Advaita Acharya, they're still living there in Shantipur. So it happened that they couldn't do the festival themselves. They had no means to do anything. And they approached ISKCON and they asked us, could you help us to do this festival? So it was agreed we would go there every year. And every year, but for many years now, we've been going there to Shantipur, and we have a very big festival. We distribute prasadam to thousands of people. So Shantipur is a wonderful place to go and visit. If you haven't been there yet, you have to go. Actually, Srila Prabhupada, at one point he was thinking to make Shantipur the world headquarters of ISKCON. Before he got land in Mayapur, he was thinking, we'll have a temple, we'll just make Shantipur the headquarters. And he was going to get land there. But later on they got land in Mayapur, so Shantipur was forgotten. But Srila Prabhupada had pastimes there in Shantipur. He used to go there to Shantipur. Before he went to America, he was going there. He was chanting there and praying there. And after he went to America, he came back, he also went there. So it's a very important holy place. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, Advaita Acharya, they were all there in Shantipur. They would take prasadam there, and that place is there in Shantipur. And when you go to Shantipur, you can see also the original painting of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Maharaj Prataparudra, he commissioned an artist to do a painting of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they have that illustration there in Shantipur. If you haven't seen the original portrait of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you can see it there in Shantipur. So there are many, many places to be seen around Goramandala Bhumi. We're only in Navadvip Dham, and this is Panchavaktra, Shiva's abode here. We want to understand the importance of Lord Shiva. We say, Aradhanam Sarvesham, Vishnu Aradhanam Param. Of all kinds of worship, the worship of Lord Vishnu is the greatest. But Vishnu Aradhanam Param. Tasmat Parataram Devi Tadiyanam Samataram. So Tadiya, those things which are in relationship to Vishnu, is even greater. So worship of Lord Shiva is also very important for us. Just like we worship Tulsi Devi, we worship Srila Prabhupada, we also offer our respects to Lord Shiva. When we go to Jagannath Mandir, you'll see we have one Shiva Linga there. We have a big program on Shiva Ratri. Just passed a week or two ago. We had a very big program. Many people come. Now, when I joined the movement, we had a very bad idea about Lord Shiva. Oh Shiva, oh no, And there was even a story that somebody gave Rudraksha beads to Prabhupada to chant on, and Prabhupada went, oh. He thought, this is not for devotees. We chant on Tulsi beads. We don't chant on Rudraksha. And similarly, worship of Lord Shiva, we don't offer Tulsi to Lord Shiva, we offer Bilva leaves to Lord Shiva. Described here, right? Bilva Paksha, this place here. So the worship of Lord Shiva is done with Bilva leaves, not with Tulsi. Tulsi is for worshipping Lord Vishnu. Lord Shiva is not Vishnu Tattva. Lord Shiva is Shiva Tattva. He's on his own. Vishnu Tattva. That is Lord Nityananda. Advaita Acharya is also Vishnu Tattva. Who is Advaita Acharya? Mahavishnu. And who else? Sadashiva. Yes, Sadashiva means Sadashiva in the spiritual world. There's the four-armed form of Sadashiva. It's a Vishnu form. He has his own planet in the spiritual world, a Vaikuntha planet. So we worship Lord Shiva, we offer our worship to him. At the same time, we understand that Lord Shiva is not the Supreme Lord, but he is a Vaishnavam Yata Shambhu. Lord Shiva Shambhu is the greatest Vaishnava. Why is he such a great Vaishnava? Because he delivers so many fallen conditioned souls. He is the Guna Avatar. He is in charge of the mode of ignorance. All the people who are influenced by that mode of ignorance, Lord Shiva thinks how to deliver them. And even it says that sometimes he will take ghosts and such like, and he will place them in the womb of women who have sex at irreligious times. He'll place them in the womb of women who have child in an irreligious manner. In this way they get an opportunity to take birth. That is Lord Shiva's compassion. Lord Shiva also, he drank the poison from the ocean of milk. When the demigods and the demons were churning the ocean, they produced poison. Lord Shiva kindly took that poison and held it in his throat. So he became known as Nilakanta. Right. And Lord Shiva also took the Ganges on his head. When Mother Ganga was coming down from the higher planets, Maharaj Bhagirath needed someone to take the force of Mother Ganga, because the force of Ganga coming from the higher planets onto the earth would knock the earth out of its orbit. So it was agreed that Lord Shiva would take the Ganga on his head. So it said the hair of Lord Shiva is always wet from the water of the Ganges. Lord Shiva is also decorated with the crescent moon. That crescent moon was given to him to keep his body cool, because he had drank the poison. He drank that halahala poison which was being produced by the churning of the milk ocean. So he was given the crescent moon to keep his head cool. So Lord Shiva is so merciful that he came in the Kali Yuga as Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya was given the order. Mayavada asatshastram prachanam bodha muchate. In the Kali Yuga, preach the Mayavadi philosophy, because it's covered Buddhism. So Lord Shiva came as Shankaracharya. And as Shankaracharya, he did great service, because he brought back the Vedas. The Vedas had been practically forgotten about. India was full of Buddhism. You can go to the Mathura Museum. Now we think of Mathura, the birthplace of Lord Krishna. But you go to the Mathura Museum, what do you see in the museum? So many Buddhas. Many, many Buddha statues. Because Mathura became the capital of Buddhism. That was the situation before Shankaracharya appeared. And it was Shankaracharya who preached and brought back the Vedic culture. He defeated the Buddhists. And he also, one of the problems with the Buddhism was everyone was just simply doing nothing. Everybody just, because the Buddhist philosophy is nothing is real, life has no purpose, there's no meaning to anything. They do nothing, everyone was just sitting, meditation. They just wanted nirvana, didn't want to do anything. So there was no farming, the fields were not being plowed, nothing was being done. The whole country was coming into ruination. But Shankaracharya came and he brought back the Vedic culture. The Buddhists were teaching everyone is one, we're all the same. There's no Brahman, there's no Kshatriya, no Vaishya, no Sudra. We're all just simply, what are we? We're nothing. Zero. You listen to the Buddhists preach, only they speak about zero, nothing. They never mention God. They will never mention anything about a creator. They'll simply say, no, life is, nothing is real, everything is illusion. But Shankaracharya came and he preached, there's one. He brought people back to the Vedas. And he re-established Brahmins who were not corrupted, who were not degraded. He brought back a very high standard of Brahminical culture. And he got the people to go back to work. They started to do work again, farming, taking care of the cows, growing the crops. So it's much more practical philosophy. So we're very grateful to Lord Shiva for all of his wonderful services here. And this banyan tree, generally, Lord Shiva resides under a banyan tree. Although his wife is Mother Durga, she's in charge of the whole material creation. Lord Brahma says, Shristi Stiti Pralaya Sadhana Saktireka Jaye Vayashya Bhuvanani Vivarti Durga Echanurupamapi Yashya Chachaistate Sa. The creating, maintaining and annihilating deity of the mundane world is worshipped by all people as Durga. I adore the primeval Lord, under whose connection Durga conducts herself. So Mother Durga is so powerful, she controls the whole material creation. And Lord Shiva is her husband. But they live under a tree. So it said one time they built a house. They built a very nice house out of gold. And of course when you build a house, you have to bring the brahmanas to do the Griha Pravesh. So they brought the brahmanas to do the ritual so they could enter into the house. But when you bring the brahmanas to do the rituals, you have to give them some dakshin. So Lord Shiva, what's he going to do? What's he got? Well, he said, I have my house. So the brahmanas, they took away the house. They took everything. So Lord Shiva thought, what's the point? Have a house. No need to have a house. So that's why Lord Shiva lives under the tree, even though his wife is the controller of the whole cosmic manifestation. They're quite happy to live under the tree. It's pointed out the devotees of Lord Shiva generally, they're very opulent. They have a lot of wealth, a lot of opulence, very famous people, powerful people. They worship Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva can fulfill material desires. So materialistic people are very fond to worship Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva fulfills their desires. He's asutosh. He's easily pleased. Fulfills all their desires. They get everything they want. But they don't get the real mercy of Lord Shiva. It's pointed out, those devotees of Lakshmi Narayan and Radha Krishna, they're not so wealthy. They're not so rich. They're not so opulent. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, and Lord Narayan, they're wealthy. They live in the palace. They have great opulence. Dwarka is a place of opulence. But the devotees of the Lord, they're not usually so wealthy. They live simply. But they have the special wealth, which the Shivites don't have. The Shivites, those who are worshippers of Lord Shiva, they don't have peace of mind. They don't have any real control of the mind and senses. They're very attached. They're very materially ambitious. But the devotees of Lord Narayan and Lord Krishna, they enjoy that satisfaction, that peace of mind, that inner pleasure. So that is the real wealth, not the temporary flickering wealth of the material world. So in this way we understand something about the significance of worshipping Lord Shiva. We want to get from him the greatest thing. And we're going to hear? Okay. So before we have a drama, here's Punch.
For the next place that we're going to, we'd like to do a small drama.